Hello, everybody. So, coffee and combos today. Sorry, I'm streaming from the computer with a very bright light after sweating. So, do not mind me. I'm just going to share my screen. So, every beginning of the month, I said, starting last month, that we were going to do a monthly wellness box from the units tab. And I was going to just really explain how that worked and what the products were in there and why they would be beneficial for the season that we're in. So, even though I wanted to do a coffee and convos around just different types of cleansing or business, I just really feel that because most people's LRP, loyalty rewards orders or wellness boxes ship off before the 16th, it never fails. If I start a live, Lilith comes in. Lilith, you need to go. You need to not be in here. Door closed means live video. You can go have some grapes. Yep, you can go have some grapes and I'll make you a delicious food. Cool deal.
Can I have cereal?
Yes, you may. All right, so sorry about that. So I'm going to share my screen, and because we're in the season of, unfortunately, back to school, I feel like it's so early to talk about this, but at the same time, because those wellness boxes are going out probably before the 15th, and there is some pretty amazing promotions happening with the LRP system, I figured we should really dive in and just get you guys all ready. Next month's wellness box will be all around detoxification, and we will be hopping right back into coffee and convos every Saturday morning around 8:30, 9 o'clock. And just to join us together and just create some more value, more community, you're going to be seeing some reposts of some of the videos that I did before. So just in case you've missed some, there's going to be a lot of just re-automated videos so that people who are new to the group, they can really just dive into their education around essential oils. So here we go with sharing. Let's hope it brings up the correct screen. There we go. So let's talk about this amazing, amazing, amazing Thriving Kids box. Okay, this is to me we actually order this every other month. Well, I shouldn't say that. We order the supplements every month, and the PB Assist I order every other month for my children for a very good reason. So first, let's talk a little bit about why the monthly wellness box and why it's so beneficial. So together, many of us through the Whole Fit team have gotten together to create this kind of program for you guys to be able to support yourself in the sense that you can grab the tools you need very, very specifically for you, as if like a kind of like a doctor's script. Like it just makes it easier. Like I have this problem, I'm maybe too shy to ask about it. So I'm going to go and into the units tab of this group, they're all marked down. So I think there's 20 something of them. So most things are covered in there. With it, there is a video from a high-level leader, which means that they are silver and above, and they are professionals in their field, or they have comfort in speaking about the products and what the conditions are. So the women's health boxes was the one I did because it was from personal experience that I went through some women issues, and I'm okay to be vulnerable and talk about that. But the wellness box experience is created for that, for you, to make this easy for you. Now, the reason that we call it the wellness box experience is that right now there's so much around people ordering on monthly subscriptions. doTERRA is no different, and doTERRA has more value geared around their monthly subscriptions than anywhere else. I mean, when you get a monthly wellness box from, I don't know what that little one where you get like a couple different samples, you get those samples, but you don't get any points back. You don't get to choose what you want to purchase next time for free. Now, doTERRA allows, after a year of being on their monthly wellness box program, like up to 30% back of everything you get. So plus shipping, which is a great, great thing. So now let's talk a little bit about one last thing. And so with that, these monthly wellness boxes are made to have the most value and to get you the most free product on purpose. So if you purchase before the 15th of the month and you purchase over 125 points value worth of things, you get a free oil anyways. If you're on a health program and you are ill in any way, usually if you think about bringing yourself back to health, you can either choose to pay the drug companies or you can choose to pay the farmer or the companies, the health companies that are going to help you. Either way, it's likely going to cost you money. It's just where do you want your money to go and which one is treating the root cause and which one is actually treating an outside cause. Like which one is just, I hate to say it, feeding the cause. So one of the things that doTERRA did this month to really benefit us was they actually have laurel leaf. So laurel leaf is an amazing, amazing, sorry, I'm just getting all these messages when I don't want to. So laurel leaf is an amazing oil that isn't usually offered at all. And I think it's wonderful when doTERRA does this, that not only do you get just a free oil, because usually they will actually give us like rosemary or cedarwood, all high valued oils to me. And but when they offer you an oil that isn't even available, that to me is like kind of like magic. It tells me there's not enough of this oil to source ethically to provide it for 7 million people well, probably closer to 8 million people now consistently, but there's enough to supply us all for the joys of having this oil for kind of like a trial and have it in our toolbox, and it's super fun. So this month, laurel leaf is an oil you cannot acquire. So if you actually get your subscription box or your wellness box before the 15th, you will get this if your order is above 125 points value. Okay, so now let's talk about the Thriving Kids box and what's in it. So for myself, this was last year's convention kit, this the children's, what do you call it? The children's kit. To me, this was like gold. At the time, I don't think I really fully understood the value of it until after convention. I liked it, but there were some of the other products I was so like, oh my goodness, this is so exciting, like Yarrow Palm and all that. But when I got home, I saw the true value of this kit because my children, whom were not always like kind of understanding the oils or really, they use them, they like them, they know they help, but they knew they also weren't allowed to play with them because of their purity and potency, right? That potency and safety is a huge thing. So when they created this Thriving Kids box and they created the kids kit, I came home with that and my children were just lit up. And they were like, wow, look at all those colors. And are those oils for me? And I was like, oh, okay. And then they both wanted their own kits. And I was like, oh my goodness, they actually want this. They actually can't wait to have this. And they started to use it on their own. So before school, after school, so they supported themselves constantly with this kit. And I thought it was great that both my children are above the age of 3. So I can just give them the kit. And they know how to look because even though my daughter couldn't read, there are symbols to say what is what. So she can make the association to learn that, okay, that's for my brain. And Dante, who is my oldest, would actually tell her exactly where to put it on. So as a team, they were able to have empowerment as children. That to me is very important because our future cannot keep going in the direction it's going because illnesses are affecting our children more and more and more. And if we think about what they're stating now is that our children will not outlive their parents, I'm not okay with that. And I believe that most parents aren't, grandparents probably aren't either. And so this is a way to empower them in their future as preventative healthcare. And that to me is the future of healthcare. We're no longer going to be looking at cause and effect. We're so much as, okay, we've had the cause and this is the effect and we have to deal with the effect now. We're going to be actually looking at prevention to cause. And that, I love it. Okay, so this is a way for us to do this for them. So let's talk about the products really quickly because I do have a big day today. So let's talk about how this is going to look. And I don't even know if you guys can hear that, but I want to decline that. My goodness. There. It's so frustrating when I get phone calls like that through my computer. It's like a day of disruption today. Okay, so let's talk about each of the oils in the kids kit. And then actually let's talk about the foundation of their health first. Number one, it's summertime. All of our children have been eating probably not the best all the time. It's treat time. We're having s'mores. We're having, lots of juices. We're out camping. We're doing what's easy. I mean, I've got my diehard parents there who are like, no, I'm very strict. And that's great. And that's where eventually we may go. But I mean, life is life. And sometimes our kids do need a little bit of treats and stuff. So foundationally, going back into school, you want to be focusing on helping them heal and seal and cleanse naturally from the inside out. And these products right over here will do that for you. So I'll explain them as quickly as I can. We're going to start with really focusing on gut health. The microbiome is everything to me, and I love the PB Assist, which is basically a child's version of a probiotic. It tastes amazing. It comes in a pouch. You can choose to put it in water, or they can just, like my kids, they fight for them, so they just like chase them back. And I use them 15 days on, and then I usually do about a month off. And we still include probiotic foods, right? Like yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut. So if you're not doing all of those things, you can completely just use these a little bit longer. But I like to give them a break, because ideally what a probiotic is doing is actually creating an environment so that your child's natural occurring bacteria, good bacteria, can proliferate and grow. Now, the PB Assist is awesome because it has the same technology as the adult version, which means that it's meant to actually be in some form or other double encapsulated so that it actually makes its way to the small intestines where it needs to proliferate properly. So, and it is made for children, so it is in the proper dosage for children. This is huge too, right? For children who have big issues, and by big issues, right now it's not even a big issue, it's just the most common issues in a way. We're talking about things like supporting ADHD or ADD, or we want to talk about focus, or even just like mild things that are really affecting them, such as skin rashes. Like PB Assist will support so much more, and people have seen such dramatic shifts in their children's health using it, that it's kind of a staple in a lot of families' homes once they start. I know sometimes it's hard to say, okay, well, is this going to work? Well, how are you going to know if you don't try it? So for me, starting into the season of school, with us being basically our children being a little bit more on the unhealthy side for the most part because of summer and treats and whatnot, we want to rebuild that good gut bacteria. That your gut has 70% of your immunity in it. And so we are going into an environment for children where they're going to be bombarded by a lot more children that could be sick, that could be, it is life. And you want them to be exposed to those sicknesses to create, resistance in a proper microbiome state. But if their bodies are not up optimally where they should be, they will be sick longer. They will have their coughs longer. They will have their colds way longer. And this is a way to make sure preventatively that they are supported through this process so that they can be exposed still to this, these things, but still have less outcome from it while still building resistance. Okay. This is the magic key. You're still getting exposed to it. Your microbiome needs to. Okay. That's important. Go play in the dirt. But you also need to be able to survive your exposures. And sometimes with some of these beautiful tools, you can actually still be exposed to these things, build the resistance, and not have anything, not have any outcome. So not get sick. So that's important. Okay, IQ Mega. For my kids who are really focused, challenged, I'm going to use that word. This is like a godsend. If you can be consistent with the IQ Mega, which is your omega fatty acids, which is brain health, hair health, nail health, heart health, joint health, for them, this is going to be such a supportive system with keeping at attention at school. We all know some conditions that go with that. I'm just not able to say it out loud. Next, we have the A to Z, which is so just so you know, our children specifically, because of McDonald's and fast food places, we are exposing our children to probably about 16 to 24 times more omega-6s than omega-3s. This is just the reality of our world today, of where we're at and of our third generation of not knowing any better. So this is me telling you that absolutely this product, fish oils, are important. And what's funny is that our grandparents, like my grandparents used to talk about it all the time. Oh yeah, I used to get cod liver oil all the time. But we stopped doing that at one point. There was a reason that they did that. They knew it was so good. Okay, the Microplex, the A to Z chewable tabs, these are kind of like candy. Now, if your children are not exposed to a lot of candy, they're going to love this. If your children do have a sweet tooth and have been exposed to candies before, like on I'd say medium to higher level, more than a few times a week, they might have a little bit of a challenge with this, but I suggest you never stop using this product. This is where we talk about detoxification for the cells. Now, there is like its own version of alpha CRS in here, which is extremely supportive in the proper dosage for a child. I cannot say enough about these supplements. They are extremely important. They are probably the most important. These two, the IQ Mega and the A to Z work in synergy together, and you really, really want to give your children the best nutrient capacity, because that's what clears up brain fog. That's what ups immunity. That's what nutritional deficiencies are illness. Okay, think of it that way. Nutritional deficiency here equals illness here. Replenishing, and our children probably aren't eating as many fruits and vegetables as they should be. And if you think about it, they're not even getting the same quality of nutrition in fruits and vegetables that we had 10 years ago, us as children, or 20 years ago, us as children. So it's just been depleted over time. So supplementation is actually a non-negotiable right now in our world. And if you don't believe that, just do a bit of research. It is blaring you in the face on every news channel, in social media feeds, both in studies, in courses. So it's just a fact of life that our the ground that we have where nutrients are is so depleted for the mass production that we've done and putting on all of these pesticides and herbicides. We're destroying our land. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is the kids kit. Now this alone is like one of the most phenomenal things when they created this. It comes in a beautiful pouch. It has a beautiful little tag. So the kids know it's theirs. And they can even tell you, Mom, you can't touch my oils. That's fine. You know what? As long as they're using them daily, consistency is key with any kind of health and new habit, right? So let's talk about the oils in there and the stars. So Thinker is one of my favorites. So in combination, Thinker and IQ Mega, this is actually your focus power stars. And this is a powerhouse for that, because rosemary is wonderful for memory enhancement. Peppermint is wonderful to make and wake up the beautiful nervous system, and also calmative to the nervous system, right? So stimulating yet calmative. I know that sounds like it's backwards, but it is. It has a really positive impact on that. And then you have things like copaiba and frankincense. We all know that frankincense can bridge through the blood-brain barrier, helps with inflammation, all of that jazz. So this combination is just magic for those kids who have a hard time focusing, or if you have children who are teenagers who are going into, homework time, study time, program time, and they have to create. Thinker is a way for them to stay on task. So they can literally be at home and you can put this on the back of their neck while they're doing their homework. That's what my son does. Every day when he gets home, he puts on some Thinker. Every day before he goes to school, Thinker is applied to the back of his neck. Next, I want to talk a little bit about Stronger. Stronger is the red one, and that one there is kind of like a child-safe version of On Guard. This is a way for our children to be able to have immunity without being afraid of, eucalyptus or all of these other essential oils that sometimes are considered a little bit more potent for children, and clove and cinnamon. So this oil here uses very, very different oils. It also smells very different. So it uses things like Litsea and actually I wish I had it with me. I can't exactly remember that combination because I'm not allowed to touch their oils. But I remember thinking when I smelled it, I'm like, oh, that's so soft. That's so nice. And these oils are made to have the smell of kid approved. And that means that children will not only have a habit to use it, but they'll enjoy it, right? The olfactory has this wonderful, wonderful thing for us. And so Stronger is your immunity booster. So every day my kids put this, I caught my son putting it on his feet and putting it on Lilith's feet. So this is really supportive to immunity. They can put it on their throats if they want, where much of your immunity is created in our hormones, right? Okay, the next two that I'm going to talk about are my before school oils. So my children put on 4 blends, which is quite a bit of oils before school. And I think that it's really important. So for Lilith, she needs steady. Okay, she's an ungrounded individual in the sense that she's very, very active, very kind of all over the place. So like for her, Steady and Thinker are amazing, and Stronger. So those are her 3 oils she puts on in the morning. Dante and Steady is meant to ground you. So she puts it on her feet, and it's meant to just create the same thing that Balance or Anchor would create for us, which is a feeling of grounding. So that means that the oils that are in there are chosen to help with cleaning out the doorways to the cell and creating like a calming effect. There are things that are higher in linalool in there and different constituents that actually do that for our bodies and stimulate that response our bodies do for ourselves, I should say. Now, Dante's a little bit different. He's more of the shy guy and the more, not quiet, but he's the one who needs brave. And he's going through more more situations where he has to present in front of the class. He has to have all of these things happen. And so for him, Brave is completely supportive for that. So he puts on Brave every morning. Plus, it smells amazing. So Brave smells like a creamsicle, and he always wants to eat it. And Steady smells like marshmallows. So both my kids love these two specifically. Now, the last two I'm going to talk about are, one of them I use every single day, and Rescuer I do not. So Rescuer is one of those oils kind of like Deep Blue. Our children don't generally live in as much pain as I do, but I can tell you that my son, who went through his karate tournament last year, he completely used Rescuer right in the middle of his karate. He's like, I just need to put something on my forearm, it's sore. It's like a 6-hour competition or like testing, and they were totally okay with that. Now, when Dante has gym 3 times a week, yeah, he puts on Rescuer on his legs. When they're doing Caber Hill and they're running, yes, he knows. And I love that. I love that rather than like talking to me about Advil or pain or feeling like I can't even do something for him, he just has been taught over time to do it for himself, and something that works. Now, Calmer I use every day. I use it every night on my kids, on the back of their neck and on their chest, so they can get it through their olfactory and their bloodstream. Calmer is a combination kind of like our Serenity. And the beauty of that is that if you put it on about an hour before bed, it literally does what it says. You can, even if you're really desperate and you're having a moment with your tantrumy child, put it on the forehead here. And it will completely create this effect of calming. As an adult, you can use all these too, right? Like, you're not limited to just giving it to children. The dosage of the oils, and these are safe for any children to use, but as adults, we're able to use this and just use it more often. That's the only difference, right? And essential oils are more effective. Less is more often, right? So I hope that you guys enjoyed this Coffee and Convos. I hope you enjoyed the Thriving Health Box. As you can tell, the total is 130 PV. All right, there is the video up top that that is now going to be from whomever was probably the person who was the most qualified to talk about those oils as well. Okay, so it's posted to the top of our group. So if you want more information, absolutely hop into that. And I truly hope, our children are our future. And with those statistics that are coming around right now, like especially for my moms with kids starting out in school, this would be especially supportive to children who are nervous, who are scared, who have not been to daycare. This is like a thriving box for them to feel empowered. Like, you can give them Brave and say, you have your Brave oil, you can put it in your backpack, and when you have this oil, you will be okay. Like, children react to how we feel and how we are, and sometimes maybe mommy needs to put the Brave oil on too, and you can show on you as you do on them. Going into school is a stressful time for young children in our day and age. Truly, because if you look at the statistics of how many, like, what's the age of anti-anxiety medication being prescribed, it's actually 4 and 5. And so there are some certain things that happen at that age, going to school, maybe going to the dentist the first time, going for shots, and being aware of the things at the doctor's office. It's not anymore that, doctors come to see you at home. You have all these new environments as children that you're put into that can cause, and with the foods that we're eating, the depletion of nutrients, it is causing in our future generations high levels of anxiety, high levels of depression, high levels of mental illness. So start supporting our children at a young age and giving them empowerment. I like that word. That word used to be uncomfortable for me. But giving our children empowerment means that they feel, if our children feel that they can be in control of not everything, but of their situation, of their feelings, because anxiousness is a feeling of not being in control. It's a feeling of outside influence constantly not having an ill effect on you. Whereas when you have tools and you have them and you are empowered from a young age, you feel like you can tackle anything because you have the tools in your tool belt. And that is extremely important for our future generations. So I think the Thriving Kids Box is amazing for those who are starting out in school and those who are, of course, going back to school. So next week's, I haven't decided what the topic is. I wanted it to be all about kind of my journey that I'm going through with detox right now, emotional stuff, but I'm going to save it for September. But there will be a Coffee and Convos starting out every week for the next little bit. All right, so I'm glad to be back. I hope you guys had a wonderful summer and you guys filled your cups and you spent time with your families and you were in probably your season of play, as they say, and just really thrived in that space. So I will talk to you guys next week.